While he is enjoying his delicious dessert, Sunwoo, a high-ranking enforcer, is informed that there is some trouble brewing up downstairs. Before going downstairs, he takes one of his associates, Mingi, with him. Sunwoo finds 3 men in the nightclub and politely asks them to leave, as they have overstayed their welcome at the club and have been staying beyond working hours. When they don't respond, Sunwoo warns them to leave before his count to 3. Not moving even in the slightest, Sunwoo orders Mingi to close the door. A huge brawl breaks out, but Sunwoo is able to put those men down with his strong combat and athletic skills. Sunwoo closes the hotel and tells his boss that he would send the hotel's generated revenue to him in the morning. Sunwoo sits down for dinner with his boss, Mr. Kang, and they both talk about the incident that took place in the nightclub. Kang is happy with Sunwoo as he states that he handled the situation pretty well. Kang explains to Sunwoo that those were the men of Beak D-Sik, with whom they are having business tensions at the moment. Another employee of Kang, Moonsuk, arrives and informs that the men in the nightclub were local and not of Beak. Moonsuk's unsophisticated manner of eating disgusts Kang, who later orders Moonsuk to leave and wait for him outside. Kang is looking forward to fixing things with Beak's father. Kang now reveals the real reason for calling Sunwoo. He says that he is dating a younger woman, Hisu, and he suspects that she might be looking for someone else behind his back. Kang is leaving for Shanghai for a business meeting and he orders Sunwoo to find out if his girlfriend is actually cheating on him. If she is, then Sunwoo is ordered to call Kang immediately or finish her and her other boyfriend off himself. Before leaving, Kang also says that he believes that Sunwoo has never been in love, which is also the reason for him being selected for this job. The next morning, Sunwoo arrives at Hisu's house and hand-delivers her a present given by Kang. She opens up the present, and while she's doing it, Sunwoo is attracted to her elegant beauty. She finds that Kang has gifted her a funny-looking lamp. Sunwoo informs Hisu that Kang has ordered him to drive her to work today. Hisu rejects the offer and tells Sunwoo that she can go herself. As Sunwoo insists more, Hisu says that she will inform Kang about this. As Sunwoo covertly waits outside Hisu's house, he discovers a young man arriving at her house and leaving with her. He follows them to a restaurant where they have dinner together. He later follows them to a nightclub, where they dance extremely close to each other. When the young man drops Hisu at her home, Sunwoo receives a phone call from Moonsuk, who tells him to come to the hotel soon. Moonsuk tells him that Sunwoo should be dealing with Beak's men. Moonsuk receives a call from Beak which Sunwoo answers and tells Beak to meet him face to face if there's any problem. Sunwoo hangs up the call and Beak feels disrespected. When one of Beak's men secretly chuckles at what has just happened, Beak beats him up with the telephone badly. Moonsuk lets Sunwoo know that his behavior has made their problems even worse, but Sunwoo doesn't bother as he believes that it was Moonsuk's job to handle in the first place. Sunwoo goes back home and after taking a shower, he begins to think of Hisu before going to sleep. The very next morning, he gets a call from Hisu who asks for his help and tells him to meet her. Both of them have lunch together and Hisu tries to start a conversation with him. She lets him know that Kang has told her that Sunwoo is actually a scary man. Sunwoo tells her there's nothing like that. Hisu asks him if he's an enforcer. Not wanting to disclose his actual profession, Sunwoo tells her that he just works at the hotel. After having lunch, Hisu goes to a lamp store where she comes across a beautiful lamp, but doesn't buy it as she can't afford it at the moment. Sunwoo tries to ask Hisu why she is dating Kang. Hisu, in turn, asks him why he is trying to ask her a question like that. Sunwoo tells her that it's perfectly fine if she doesn't want to answer his question. Hisu leaves for her music recital and tells Sunwoo that she can take a taxi back home. While her recital is being recorded, Sunwoo looks at her and is even more attracted to her beauty now. Mingi informs Sunwoo that Moonsuk is looking for him. Sunwoo goes to the hotel and finds Moonsuk having a good time with Beak. Sunwoo isn't thrilled to see Beak in the hotel. Beak apologizes to Sunwoo for being rude on the phone, and classifies it as nothing but a misunderstanding. Sunwoo doesn't believe him and tells him that there's no misunderstanding between them. He lets Beak know that he should stop using his men to mess with him. Moonsuk gets furious over Sunwoo's rude behavior, and before things could heat up even more, Sunwoo leaves. Sunwoo goes to pick up Hisu and before he could reach her, he finds her secret lover coming and picking her up from work. Hisu is dropped back at her home and the young man leaves soon enough. Hisu has observed that Sunwoo has been following her stealthily, and as Sunwoo leaves, she calls her secret boyfriend back. Her boyfriend drives recklessly and almost gets into an accident with Sunwoo. While driving back home, Sunwoo remembers that Hisu's boyfriend had passed by him and returned to her. Sunwoo hastily returns to Hisu's home. He secretly enters her house and finds both of them red-handed. A furious Sunwoo begins to beat up Hisu's boyfriend. The young man tries to get an upper hand, but Sunwoo's combat skills are no match for him. Before Sunwoo could finish the young man off and call Kang, he observes Hisu's true love for her secret boyfriend. Not wanting to inflict any kind of trouble in Hisu's life, he decides not to inform Kang. He gives Hisu and her boyfriend another chance at everything. He tells them to not see each other from this day forward and forget that any of this actually happened. Hisu's boyfriend leaves and Hisu is upset. She tells Sunwoo that it would be actually difficult for her to stay away from her boyfriend. While driving back to his apartment, Sunwoo finds a group of men chasing after him and spitting alcohol on his car while they are on the road. Sunwoo speeds up and is able to stop that group of men. He severely beats up those guys before leaving. When Sunwoo reaches the underground parking lot of his apartment building, he feels as if someone is around him. He yells that if someone is there, then he should show himself. A mysterious man, who is wearing a cap, appears and tells Sunwoo to apologize for his actions. Sunwoo assumes that the mysterious man might be Beak's guy. The mysterious man asks him to admit that he was wrong and that nothing bad would happen to him. Sunwoo tells him to go away and doesn't apologize. Kang returns and the first thing he does is meet Hisu. She is a bit anxious as she's afraid that Kang might have found out about her other boyfriend. Kang tells her the reason that he likes her so much is that she doesn't care what other people think about them, which is why Kang is always excited to meet her. Sunwoo goes to a shop to buy some beers. When he is in his apartment, a drunk Sunwoo finds 3 men who beat him up badly. The mysterious man arrives to give Sunwoo a final blow before taking him. Sunwoo is tied up and is in a horrible state. Beak arrives with his man who taunts Sunwoo even more. Beak prepares his men to end Sunwoo once and for all. Sunwoo is scared to death, but luckily for him, Beak receives a phone call and is ordered to drop Sunwoo at a distant location. Sunwoo meets Kang and the rest of his man. Kang has found out that Sunwoo didn't reveal Hisu's affair with another man to him. Kang asks Sunwoo the reason for not telling him. Sunwoo remains silent and a disappointed Kang leaves. Moonsuk and a bunch of Kang's men remain with Sunwoo. Kang calls Moonsuk and is told to put Sunwoo on phone. Kang asks Sunwoo one last time why he didn't inform him about Hisu's affair. He responds that he thought if Hisu would forget about her boyfriend, then everything would have been normal. Kang asks if he has feelings for Hisu, but Sunwoo doesn't answer the question. Kang orders Moonsuk to torture Sunwoo. Moonsuk and other Kang's men try various ways to torture, even burying him in the ground at one point. When Sunwoo comes out of the hole he was buried in, he is washed up and given a cell phone. He is told by Moonsuk that he has 15 minutes to fix his mistake and make everything alright. Sunwoo is furious at Moonsuk and tells him that he should never play with someone's life. Sunwoo observes every man around him and tries to plot the best possible way to escape everyone. Moonsuk finds Sunwoo talking to someone on the cell phone. Thinking that he might have apologized to Kang, Moonsuk takes the phone and sees that it has no battery in it. Sunwoo has taken out the battery and uses it to attack Moonsuk. A long fight ensues, and Sunwoo attempts to beat up anyone that comes near him so that he can escape successfully. He is able to fend off the majority of men and is also able to steal a car, which allows him to leave immediately. Kang gets upset after he finds out from Moonsuk that Sunwoo has escaped. Kang meets with Beak and his other associates as well. Kang informs them about Sunwoo and how they all need to be together in finishing him off. Kang also shares his mindset from a boss's perspective, as he believes that a person has to listen to his boss even if he is wrong. Mingi receives a phone call from Sunwoo, who is told to deliver him something to a construction site. Both of them meet in that place, and Mingi asks if Sunwoo is doing fine. Sunwoo lets him know that he is looking forward to finishing everything off. Meanwhile, Kang receives a call from President 1, who tells him that it's foolish for Kang to go after Sunwoo as it doesn't suit his reputation. Kang still believes that he has to finish off Sunwoo, who is looking at him from a place nearby. Sunwoo delivers a gift to Hisu at a place where she is currently residing. Sunwoo goes to a remote location, where he meets 2 guys in an attempt to buy a gun. The 2 men ask for money first, which Sunwoo provides with ease. One of those guys asks him the reason for buying a gun from them, but Sunwoo believes that he doesn't have to answer everything as money is the only thing they asked for. Both of the arms dealers argue with each other, as one of them believes that Sunwoo might be an official and could put them in jail. The 2 men tell Sunwoo to meet them tomorrow, and should also bring a guy who could vouch for him, so that their deal can be finalized. As the 2 men leave, they crash their car nearby. Sunwoo meets the head of those arms dealers. The head asks Sunwoo about the person who referred them to him. Sunwoo tells him that a person, named President Han, told him about those arms dealers. The head of the arms dealers asks Sunwoo why Han needs a gun, to which Sunwoo responds that he's only there to pick it up and doesn't know the specifics. The head finds Sunwoo suspicious of something and asks about Sunwoo's real profession. Before handing him the gun, the head tells Sunwoo that he has to confirm this from Han, and only then can Sunwoo leave with the gun. While they are waiting for Han's call, the head of the arms dealers shows Sunwoo how to assemble and disassemble a gun. The head of the arms dealer soon gets a call from Han, and he is informed that he doesn't know about Sunwoo. Realizing that his lie has been caught, Sunwoo quickly assembles the gun he was handed and shoots the head of the arms dealer. He proceeds by shooting one of the arms dealers and chases after the other one in the hallway. After finishing off the other one as well, Sunwoo drags him back to the apartment and gathers all of the guns before departing. The brother of the head of the arms dealer tries to call him, but he leaves him a voice message that he is coming to meet him. Sunwoo goes back to the city and holds the mysterious man, who threatened him in the parking lot, at gunpoint. He commands that man to call Beak. Soon, the brother of the head of the arms dealer arrives and observes the chaos that preceded his arrival. He finds the card that Sunwoo left there. He packs guns for himself and leaves to find Sunwoo in order to avenge the death of his brother. Beak has been told to reach an ice rink, but much to his shock, Sunwoo arrives as well. Knowing everything Sunwoo has gone through, Beak tries to pretend that nothing ever happened. Sunwoo asks Beak why did he put him through so much pain. Beak tries to end the conversation, and while doing so, he takes out a knife from his pocket and attacks Sunwoo multiple times. Sunwoo almost loses consciousness and Beak begins his taunting as usual. As Beak moves forward toward him, Sunwoo takes out his gun from the bag and shoots Beak. Even with being shot multiple times, Beak tries to run for his life, but to no avail, as Sunwoo is able to put him down for good this time. Sunwoo gets in the cab and the taxi driver asks him about the gun sounds, which Sunwoo tells him not to worry about. Sunwoo tells the taxi driver to take him downtown. Sunwoo calls Kang and warns him that he has messed with the wrong guy and that Sunwoo is coming for him. The rest of Beak's men find the mysterious man hung up just like Sunwoo was in the past. The mysterious man tells the rest to call Beak and inform him about Sunwoo, but none of them are aware of the fact that Beak is no longer around. Mingi sits down with Kang and Moonsuk, where he is asked if he has seen Sunwoo ever since he escaped from them. A terrified and hesitant Mingi denies seeing Sunwoo or meeting him. Kang gets annoyed even more now as he is constantly being lied to. He pushes Mingi's head onto the table. Hisu is going back to her home from work and she notices that Sunwoo has given her a missed call. Kang has instructed his men to clear the hotel of everyone, including the workers. Sunwoo arrives at the hotel and, at one point, also crosses the brother of the head of arms dealers. Hisu returns to her home and is presented with the gift Sunwoo left for her. She opens it up to find the same red lamp she came across at the mall and the one she couldn't afford. Before leaving to confront Kang, Sunwoo loads up his guns and looks at the wound that was inflicted on his body by Beak. Sunwoo takes a look at himself in the mirror and thinks of what he has become. Moonsuk finds Sunwoo in the hallway and gets shot by him multiple times. Before putting him to rest, Moonsuk tries to beg for mercy, but Sunwoo doesn't spare him. Beak's men arrive at the hotel with the motive of ending Sunwoo's life. Sunwoo fights off anyone who tries to get in his way. He finally reaches the nightclub where he meets Kang and the rest of his associates. Sunwoo holds a gun in Kang's face and asks for a clear reason behind him being tortured to death. Kang answers that Sunwoo insulted him, but Sunwoo believes that this cannot be the reason. Sunwoo gets emotional and breaks down crying, saying that he served Kang for 7 straight years and he was treated like a dog in the end. He asks Kang one last time about the real reason, and when he fails to answer, Sunwoo shoots him. Beak's men break in, they shoot Sunwoo and a huge shootout takes place. Every associate of Kang has been put down. Sunwoo is badly injured and is unable to fight anymore. Before they could get to him, Sunwoo is able to gather more strength and is able to finish off Beak's men. The brother of the arms dealer's head arrives and he shoots every single man in his way as well. He finally meets Sunwoo, who is planning on calling Hisu. Sunwoo remembers the time he observed Hisu's beauty and how he was attracted to her. Sunwoo realizes that he did have feelings for Hisu. The brother of the arms dealer shoots Sunwoo, and before he could depart this world, Sunwoo remembers how he was always ready to fight anyone and serve his boss Kang.